It's getting nicer and nicer out there. Maybe not work outside today. One, Grace, Ruth, Caden with the wire, Sophia. Franklin's here, William's here, Linda's here, Luciana's here, Wade's here, Bryn's here, Lauren's healthy. Good morning, folks. I'll be with you momentarily. We got Cole, we got Abigail and Matt and Lily and Abby and Allison. No Caitlin, Naif and Thomas and Jane. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. No notes today. Woohoo. But I do have a demo for you today, and then I'm going to give you quite a bit of work time because I feel like we didn't get as far as we maybe as I had hoped that we would with adding big features to our animal yesterday. So I'm going to give you a lot more time to work with that. So I'm going to have you guys gather around table 9. I'm going to talk about adding some more features, talk about faces today, because maybe some of you will get to that point. So come on over to table 9. Oh, and happy May 4th, Star Wars Day. That's fun, right? All right, so I'm going to leave the steps on the screen that are actually the same steps from yesterday. I didn't write any new steps because you're going to be kind of continuing the same thing you did yesterday. So let's bring my people who are at home over. Hi, people. Oh, it would be nice if I turned my camera on. Hi. Okay. So continuing to work. Nobody sits here, right? Okay. continuing to work on body parts of my dragon. So yesterday we talked about getting the head attached to your creature, right? Scoring and slipping, cutting an air hole so the air can pass from one side to the other. So here's the dragon so far and its little curled up body. Anybody remember yesterday we talked about composition? What is the type of composition that I have here where the body is kind of curled in a circle? Dynamic. Yes, exactly. And what's the kind of composition? I don't know that this is really a great example of it, but when it's more of like a straight line that your animal's body is aligned with, what kind of composition is that? Static. Thank you. Good. Just wanted to remind you of that because, you know, you're going to be making more choices about that today. So today I have the head, I have the neck, I have the hips, I have the tail. Those are all things you saw me do yesterday. So things I'll do today, I'll do shoulders, I'll do some claws, maybe I'll add some horns. You just get to kind of do the fun stuff in this next day, today and tomorrow. You get to add some of those fun features that actually make your creature really look like your creature. So if I'm going to do maybe the front arms of my creature, I'll do that first. So I just rolled a coil of clay and I rolled one side to become a little skinnier because all body parts, tails, wings, horns, like everything is fatter where it attaches to the body, and then it gets skinnier. You'll be able to see skinnier as it goes away from the body. That's true of animals. It's true of humans. It's all true of all of that. So this is going to become one of the front legs of my creature. So this is going to be the shoulder where it's fatter, and then it gets skinnier as it goes away. Now this is about maybe 3/4 of an inch thick. Maybe it's even an inch thick. So this is kind of a gray area whether I need to hollow this out or not. I'm going to probably not hollow this out. I'm going to attach it right here for the shoulder of my dragon. So, and I'm actually going to flatten it out a little bit too. I am going to score and slip this. I'll come back to that in a second. I'm just kind of shaping it first. So I'm going to make this shoulder attach and be wider where it attaches to the body. And then I'm going to actually make this arm come under the head. So maybe I don't even need to make that claw because it's going to be hiding underneath the head. So let me score and slip this puppy right here. I'm going to score and slip every place that it touches. So score and slip the shoulder onto the body. I'm not going to meld because I don't want the arm. Well, actually, I might meld this top part, but the part where the arm kind of breaks away from the body, I wouldn't meld that because I don't want the arm to totally look like it's coagulated like a part of a lump of the body. And then I'm going to have this arm coming under the head. Ooh, this is where I would have wanted to have a towel. Could you grab me a towel? I think, did you grab it for me yesterday too? Thank you. So I'm going to slip and score it underneath the head so it looks like he's sleeping. Thank you. Sleeping on top of his arm. So from this side, it just kind of looks like it's going under the body and then disappears. I might make claws coming out the other side too, actually. So I'm going to flip this upside down, and on the underside, where it really doesn't matter what it looks like, I'm just going to blend that arm in. So that is arm. I guess I keep calling it arm, but it's really a leg, really. Just a front leg. And then I'll do my other front leg. If you're doing an animal that is kind of up on its limbs a little bit, like maybe you're making a hippo and you're making its stumpy little legs supporting its body, so it's standing up off the table, that's fine. But what you would probably want in that case is you would make those limbs and then let them get kind of leather hard. Like make them, set them aside, let them firm up a little bit, because if you put the full weight of your creature on clay that's really, really soft and plasticky, it could end up squishing whatever you've set it upon. Okay, so here's shoulder number 2. Putting that on, I scored and slipped it. This is going to go under the head as well. So I would score and slip that. It's a lot of flipping. Right side up, upside down. And then again on this inside where it doesn't matter because nobody's going to see it because it's the bottom, just melding it in. Down there, and then I'll meld this shoulder up here too. So you got to figure out, how would your animal's limbs look if it was sleeping? Would the limbs be tucked under? Would the limbs be to the side? Would they be under the belly? How could you make those limbs? And honestly, if the limbs aren't going to show, don't make them. Like, excited about
that. Okay, so my dragon, as of right now, this is rough. He's gonna need a lot of cleanup, but just kind of trying to get the bulk of the features on there for right now. I am gonna make, oh, thank you. I am gonna make some claws now, because I think that would be a really fun just thing to see poking out from under his head. So I'm gonna make paws, and I'm gonna make them kind of thick, you know, so they're strong. So I'm gonna start by making a shape that is kind of like a deflated football, sort of. And then I'm gonna take my plastic knife. People at home, you have a plastic knife. People who are here, you have a wood knife. And I'm just gonna cut it into toes. And so then once I've cut it, it's kind of blocky looking. So then I'm just gonna pinch and make the toes look a little bit more round, like they would be in real life. Then if I wanna go and be super duper extra, what I could do, and you can do this, this is a trick you can use with claws, this is a trick you can use with spikes, this is a trick you can use with teeth. So if I have my little feet here, I'm just gonna make the ends of them kind of a little bit more stumpy, like that, okay, stumpy toes. Then I'm going to take, what would be a good tool for this? I actually, people at home, I ended up making a super tool by taping a paper clip on one side and a toothpick on the other side. So I'm just going to use the toothpick to make some little holes in the toes. 1, 2, 3. Okay, holes in the toes, holes in the toes. And so then to make claws, if I just, in my hand here, roll and make a tiny little spike and dip it in some slip and then stick it, I really need these holes to be a little bit bigger. It would be best if I had the pencil tip still available on here. A dull pencil is actually a really helpful clay tool. So I'm gonna take this little spike and I'm gonna stick it inside that hole that I made. So it actually looks like there's a toenail growing out of the skin. So that's a way to add some kind of cool realism. Not that you wanna go for ultimate realism, but some people will. Some people will really enjoy having that illusion of realism. So there's claw number 2. And I might end up, once I do the face of my creature, I might cut open his mouth so his mouth is open and do some teeth in the same way. That would be kind of neat. So here's claw number 3. Dip it in some slip. I'm not scoring, but simply by dipping it in slip and sticking it inside that little recessed area that I've made, it'll stay put pretty well. So now this claw, maybe I'll make this be looking like it's a continuation of this arm, even though in reality it's not. I've just stuck it off the side there. So flip it over and then score and slip that foot so it looks like it's coming out the other side from under his head. And then again, because the bottom doesn't really matter, we don't see it, we just want it to be strong, I'm gonna meld that foot in so it has that nice strength behind it. So there's dragon claw number 1. And I'll probably then do a second one that comes off on this side. Maybe it won't pop out quite as much because the head comes that direction. And in theory, it would kind of cover the majority of the claw. I'm just gonna bend the head down a little bit too, so it looks like it's resting down over that claw. So, and I would do the same with a back claw. The back foot would probably be bigger and I'll probably make it come into this space here. And then maybe with this one, I might make a bit of a leg. Oops, hold it so people can see. I might make a bit of a leg that comes under the body, but I probably won't make a foot because I'm just gonna assume that the dragon is laying on that foot and I'm not gonna see much of it. So you're gonna continue to add those major features today. Some of you got pretty far on that yesterday. And as I was looking at your pictures last night, I saw really, really nice work. Some people just got the head on and that's fine too. So you're gonna have more time today to add those major features. I think I'm gonna hold off on showing you how to do eyes and noses and all that today. What I am gonna show you is ears, because that might be another good big feature to do today. So one of the thing I wanna point out about ears, that everybody always just assumes that an ear is just this thing that sticks out. You know, I get a lot of, you know, just like a little flat piece of clay that people stick on, or they cut a triangle and stick that on. And yeah, well, while that might look like an ear, this isn't a very good dragon ear, but while that might look like an ear, we would know it's an ear. The way to make it look more lifelike is if you take that shape and down at the bottom, wherever it's going to attach to the head, curve it a little bit. I'm gonna hold this so the people at home can see, and then I'll hold it up so you guys can see too. It's ripping a little bit. But if you pinch it a little bit at the bottom so it's cupped, that's more like an ear is in reality. Like if you think of our ears are cupped to help us get that sound more effectively into our brains. So by cupping that ear, it just makes it more successfully three-dimensional. So for a dragon does not have a round ear. Pay attention to your animal, like look at a picture of your animal and see what kind of ear shape it has. For a dragon, I would say that the ear is probably gonna be, do they have ears? Like, I know they don't exist in reality. Oh, they've got like that flat thing. I don't have my picture available. I'm gonna try an ear on there, and if it looks too weird, then I won't use it. So I'm just using my modified tool. I've got a toothpick here. I'm gonna cut out kind of a pointy shape. And if I just leave it like this, it just looks terrible. It's just like a slabby, hard-edged thing. So I'm gonna pinch it now to make the edges more kind of soft and organic and thin, first of all, thin, definitely. And then I'm gonna pinch it down at the bottom to make it cupped, right? So it's more tilted. I don't know about that. First of all, I think it should be bigger. It does look a little bit like a rabbit. Yeah, I'm not feeling that ear particularly. What I should have done though, if I was going to use this ear, I should have traced it and then cut out the second one so it's the exact same size as the first one. That's a good trick for making your ears identical. So if I was going to use this ear, I'm going to pinch this one out to make it a little bit bigger. I feel like for my dragon, it should be a bigger ear. So, yes. Did you actually?
Like a floppy ear, like a dog ear.
Yeah, you know what?
Don't have ear top.
That's the beautiful thing about a fantasy creature is you can make it have whatever features you want. So I'll make this guy have a floppy ear, and then I'm going to add some horns and other things up here. So I'm going to slip and score where that ear is going to go. Slip and score, slip and score. And then with an ear, because they're kind of a delicate thing, if they get bumped, they could come off really easily. I'm going to take a little additional clay. I'm going to roll a tiny little coil, and I'm just going to place that coil behind the ear to provide some extra support. People at home, you have a popsicle stick that you can use to blend that little coil. People who are here, you have a wooden knife that you can use to blend those tiny little coiled areas. And so there's some extra scoring there I would need to get rid of. But that might be, I don't know, a passable ear. I'll chop it off later if I decide I don't like it. And then I could start adding other features. I'm going to add a horn today. And I know that's kind of a small detail, but kind of excited about adding some of those features. I'll add a horn to his head. Is it going to be a unicorn with a single horn? Should we do one horn, single horn, or two horns? Two? Okay. So I've got a horn. It's like a kind of a raindrop. It's fatter at the bottom. I'm going to press it down. Actually, more like a Hershey's Kiss now. So it's flat on the bottom, right? Everything should be fatter where it attaches the body, skinnier where it goes away from the body, even horns. And so I'm going to slip and score and attach that maybe right above my ear. Maybe that'll make the ear look better. Slip and score, slip and score. Now, again, just doing it like this would be fine. I could just leave my horn on there and we would know that it's growing out of the skin. But I want to be a little bit extra and make it look like the horn is actually growing out of the skin. Yeah. Ooh. Ooh, I like that. So it's like he's kind of been in a scuffle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I'll make the second horn with a little gouge out of it. Or what? 5 horns? That's too many horns. All right, so I just tried to roll a really tiny coil, but it dried out so quick. Thin things dry out really fast. So I'm making a little coil here, and this is going to be a little kind of early snapshot of how you'll do some of the facial features later. So I just wrapped the coil around that horn. And now I'm going to take that coil and I'm going to blend it just away from the horn. And by blending it away from the horn, I'm creating this illusion that there's skin there and that the horn is growing out of the skin. So easy to do. So this works with a lot of the features. So now it looks like the horn is actually coming out of the dragon's skin. And eventually I'll do scales and all those sorts of things. Boy, that's maybe a little bit more in the center than I want. I might redo that. But anyway, those are some tricks you might employ today as you're working on your animal's features. So today, what I would love to see is all major features done. All legs, tails, wings. Oh, if I was gonna do a wing, sorry, I'm gonna keep you for like 1 more minute here. If I was gonna do a wing, let me just flatten out some clay here. I'm just doing it by hand. And I'm gonna cut out a wing shape. And what I would do, if this was real, is I would make one wing that I liked, and then I would trace it to make my second wing, okay, wing. I'm gonna pinch the edges so it's not so hard-edged and slabby. And because my clay is in that really weak stage that's easy to work with but not very strong, and what is the name of that stage? Plastic, thank you. Because my clay is really plasticky today, if I wanted to have these wings attached like this on the body, they're just not gonna have the structural integrity that I want. They're gonna be saggy. So I would make these ahead of time. And then if I wanted to have a curve in it, maybe I can find something that has a curve, or I can make something that has a curve and let it just set up and get leather hard out in the open while I work on other things. And then I can come back to this when it is more leather hard and attach it when it's able to hold its own shape. So if you have anything that's gonna kind of defy gravity like that, make it, let it get leather hard, then score and slip it on once it's stronger, okay? So everybody's doing something so completely different. I can't possibly show you all the things that you would need to know. So I'm here to help in whatever way that you need me to help. So go ahead, pull out your animals, start working, grab clay. I'm gonna check in with the people who are at home, and then I'll be here to answer any questions for those of you who are here. Hi, people who are home. I'm gonna stop recording.